Hello and welcome to Dario Comics, and today we will look at 4 principles that, when understood, will make your comics 1,000 times better. Let me show you what those principles are. So we have here a page. I will do this video 3 times so that you can see it with 3 different artists, the 4 principles. So understand these 4 principles and make your comics 1,000 times better. These principles are 3-dimensional boxes, guiding the eye, overlapping, and vanishing point as tool for your comic. As you can see, I lay down a sketch, and I will explain what I put down here in a second. These principles are also used in making movies or TV shows, when you can see, I'm watching The Walking Dead right now. I'm at season 6. I didn't watch it for a long time because I was busy doing different things. Or even if you watch good YouTube movies, there's always something like you have something in the background and then you have a vanishing point right here, something in the back, horses or a mountain. And then sometimes it switches the camera and you see here a person talking, and then you have here another person talking, and it switches. And same things apply in the comics. Let me see. I hope, can I get it even a bit more down? Well, my stand is pretty high. We'll see. Let's see. Okay, this is as far as this can go. I can zoom in. So we have a page here, and I will show you a second this page, and this is what we're gonna take a look. Guiding the eye line. You see my hand, this is guiding the eye line. You're guided, the fishes guide you here in the back, and then something comes here, and then you're in the front, and you go to the back, and then you come down here. And then you get here the guiding of the eye line from front to back, from back down here, and then from the back to the front. And I will explain this in a second, so bear with me. And then we come down here, and then we come here, and so on. You can see this is guiding the eye line, and it's pretty clear. Like, you can see that invisible line. And here with the red line, I have the guiding of the eye line. Let me put this here so we can see this a bit better. And as you can see, like, let's leave this in the background. But as you can see, we come here. Maybe it's good to do it this way. We come here, and this is the front, and then we go to a midground. But where do I start? Guiding the eye line. It's a bit of both. Well, you guide the eye line with this, like you come here, and the guiding of the eye line, you decide this, and I will show you how this is done. And then once you are here, it goes back up here, and as you can see in the background, it comes up here, and then it goes down to the body, and it goes to the front, and then it leads us down, and it makes this zigzag motion, and the word balloons guide us again to the mask of the guy, like right up here. And then the eyes, the nose, and the chin, and his and this part leads us down here. And this is where we are now. And these 4 principles are important because they are like a car, like a kitchen, like one thing, but there are 4 moving parts. And so my advice is to master one of them, or one each, by practicing it or implementing it in your drawings or in your illustration work or in your comic work. And by knowing, you can, it opens up a new field in your brain so you can study different things. But now we have to look, like number 1, guiding the eye line. Then number 2, what is number 2? I guess number 2 should be the vanishing points. And the vanishing points, it means that you have a vanishing point. Where's the vanishing point here? I guess it should be somewhere here, like it goes up here and then it goes down here. And the vanishing point is kind of one point, and from that point everything goes out. And the vanishing point is like, let's say I have a point here and things come to the front. As you can see, the foreshooting, or when I go up, things seem to go in this direction. You know what I mean? And when you create a vanishing point, it gives your two-dimensional space a room. It's no longer two-dimensional. The illusion of the third dimension is now yours. And as you can see, the vanishing point here with pink is somewhere in the back. It comes to the foreground and it helps us to create number 3, the three-dimensional boxes, and then the overlapping. So I'm not sure in which order you should imply all of these things, but they will come naturally. But know that there is a vanishing point, and with that vanishing point, like you're guiding the eye line, the number 1, the guiding the eye line gives you somewhat where things have to be and from where to where you go. And so you go from the front to the back, then you come down here, you come from the back to the front, you come from the back to the front, and I don't know what this really is, but then from the back to the front again. And know that there are vanishing lines, and I will show you where the vanishing lines are. Number 1, we have here a vanishing line, and it allows us to create with those vanishing lines a space that is filled with three-dimensional boxes that are overlapping. Bear with me another second. Here we have the next panel, and it's this one. And as you can see, the babe, we see the face, and then we see here the shoulder. And the shoulder is something new, and here his shoulder and his face overlapping his shoulder is a new thing, and I called it overlapping. And that gives us not only are we working with the vanishing point, as you can see, the vanishing point must be somewhere up here. The vanishing point is creating something that I call overlapping, which gives us the illusion of a room. Like you can see her shoulder cover her chin, his shoulder covers a part of her leg, and his chin and his face cover a bit of that thing. So this is something that is used, also it's used here. Her hand overlaps her head, she overlaps him a bit, and so on. And also here you can see for the overlapping part, here the front overlaps the background. So that's a thing you can use, and I will call that front, back, and midground. So you have a background here, and the background is not only the blue. I would call this the background where the small fish are, and this is the midground, and this is the foreground. As long as you can take a vanishing point and create in that vanishing point boxes, and this is why I have here this blue boxes. As you can see, we have here the front, the mid, and the background, and this, you should take this as a box, as a three-dimensional box. A three-dimensional box here, a three-dimensional box here. Here we have another box, as you can see, and then down there's another box. Those boxes are the fourth aspect, and those boxes create the space for you to create something three-dimensional in those boxes. As you can see, his face looks very three-dimensional, and that is because he's using the vanishing point and he's using the guiding of the eye to create in that box a three-dimensional character. We will come in the 4th video of the series on how we create three-dimensional objects in those boxes with vanishing points, but I just want to point out that for now. And as you can see, when we come down here, the red markers are the eye lines, and the red guide us towards the action. We should see like his eye, his open eye goes to his closed eye, then down his chin, down we see the lady, then we come from her head and her arms to her boobs, to her body, and then to his shoulder, his face, and to his hand, extreme foreshortening. And the guiding of the eye line and the vanishing point help us to understand how to build those three-dimensional boxes. If I would have done it better, I guess, bear with me a second, I should have put down here something like his hand and holding this thing like a three-dimensional box, as you can see. You know what I mean? To be blocky is good because it helps you understand. As you can see, the hand down below should be a box following somehow the vanishing point. And it's good to know your anatomy and your style, but it is the construction. You're constructing somewhat a movie, and you're the director. Just that this is a comic and you're putting down the layouts and you're creating room. You're like the cameraman, the director, all in one. And I'm coming to a close. Let's say a last thing on the overlapping. You have with that extreme vanishing point in the last panel, which creates a really good dynamic. It's not so much the overlapping, but the foreshortening, like you have the arm overlaps his face, and so that all of that creates three-dimensional structures. And then in the front you see this extreme, I don't know, pieces of the submarine or what is this, and this creates also a very good space. So if you keep in mind 4 principles of creating a vanishing point that gives you or opens up a three-dimensional room, then you keep in mind that this three-dimensional room should be filled with three-dimensional boxes, and some things could overlap. Let's say if we had here something like this is the background, this is the foreground. If we wanted to overdo it, we could make him hold his hand, his fist close to the frame, and we had then something in the foreground, but that would be a bit of overkill. But yeah, guiding the eye line, three-dimensional boxes, overlapping, and a vanishing point. If you keep those 4 in mind, you make better comics. I will do another 2 of these, so you can understand it better, or maybe just see how different artists do it. So welcome to the next video.